Hi everyone. I'm making a quick review regarding this clearly filtered water filter system. So I haven't used it in a few months already, and I'll tell you the reason why. So that's why the picture is kind of dirty. I didn't wash it. So it comes in these filters that look just like this. So it looks like it's a charcoal filter. It's plastic on the outside, and inside it has a charcoal. I did not even open these because I got a few of them, and these two were left over. And I'm not going to use them anymore because they make the water smell like mold. And I've tried everything. So after you filter the water, I usually put them in a clean glass bottles, and I put them in the fridge because at first I was just storing them at room temperature, and my friend told me that the mold might set in because since you're filtering this water and it takes all the chlorine out, right, and it's pretty much just pure water, then there's nothing to protect the water from the mold. He said to put this in the fridge and keep the water refrigerated, so I've been doing that for a few years. However, I noticed that even if you keep this in the fridge and you take the glass water bottle out of the fridge in about half an hour to an hour, once the water gets up to room temperature, it starts to smell. So it's like when you're drinking and you're smelling like a foul smell of mold. So it's either two reasons why. It's because either these filters sit in a warehouse somewhere for a long time and they collect the mold inside, or either because, like my friend said, when you filter out like the chlorine from the tap water, right, then I guess then the mold sets in. So I don't know which one it is, but I just got tired of drinking water that smells like mold. Unless it's freezing cold in the fridge, then it doesn't smell like mold. But after about half an hour to an hour, when the water gets up to the room temperature, it smells like mold. So pretty much you cannot take this water anywhere with you, because if it sits at room temperature for like an hour, then it starts to smell like mold. And tastes like you don't really taste the mold, but you smell it when you're drinking this water. And another problem with these filters is when you finish filtering the water, you have to take this off from this bottom, right? You unscrew the filter from here, and obviously you put the filter somewhere, so when the filter dries up, it really has how should I describe this? When the filter dries up, it becomes just dry, just like it's dry right now. So when it's dry, it doesn't work. There's no water that's going to be coming through this filter. So before you use this, you have to soak this filter for 24 hours, completely submerged in water. So that way it becomes like soaking wet, and the water is able to go through this filter. So after you finish filtering this, if you just put it somewhere like where it's not submerged completely in the water, it's going to dry out. And once it dries out, you have the same problem, is that the water will not be coming through this filter. So it's not going to be filtering anything. So the only way to really keep this filter working for a few weeks, even maybe like a month, I think the company recommends to replace this every 3 months, which it's not a cheap filter. It's like $60, $55 plus tax. It's almost $60 filter. So if the filter only lasts 3 months or less, it's actually going to last less, because every time this filter goes through this process of being used, and then you let it dry completely, where it's not kept in the water, submerged in the water, it seems like the next time you use it, and even after you soak it for 24 hours. So every time it gets dried, completely bone dry, see, you just get dry, you have to soak it in the water for 24 hours in order for the water to actually go through this filter to be able to work. And I noticed every time this happens, this filter, when it goes from being dried and being soaked in the water for 24 hours, so that way you could use it, the water is coming through the filter slower and slower. So pretty much this filter becomes damaged somehow from being dried up for a while, and then once you soak it in water for 24 hours and you squeeze this, it's like a plastic. Actually, let me show this to you. So once you soak this filter in the water, and it's like for 24 hours, you have to attach this attachment. You fill this up with water, and you attach it to that filter, and you squeeze this water into the filter, and it like pushes the water through to kind of make the water flow faster through the filter, and you have to do it every time. I mean, this filter is kind of very annoying to use. It's almost like a hassle. You have to use this stupid thing to make the water go faster through the filter after you soak it. But every time you soak it for 24 hours, and every time you let this filter dry, like once you're done filtering, let's say you filtered 10 bottles and you put them in the fridge, and the filter dries up, the next time after you soak it, it seems like the water doesn't really coming through the filter anymore. So by letting these filters sit dry, it gets ruined. And a few times when I received this filter brand new, like in this condition, it was already damaged. Like even though I soaked it 24 hours in the water and I used this stupid thing to force the water into it, it's still like the water was still just barely dripping from this filter. Like it wasn't really going through. And it was a defective filter. That's what the company says. So I'm not sure, but this company, it seems like the water tastes really good, but then I noticed that the filter gets ruined once it goes dry, and so the only way to prolong the use of this filter, you have to keep it submerged in some kind of, like maybe you could, I used to put it in this pitcher that came with it. So it has to be completely submerged in water, and you just keep it there for like, until you use it the next time. And I still noticed that even though I kept everything in the fridge, once I submerged the filter in this pitcher, it was completely submerged with clean water, and I kept it inside the fridge. It still would smell like mold. After I would take the water out, it still smelled like mold. So I don't like the fact that this filter makes the water smell like mold. I think it's either the filters already come contaminated, like I mentioned before, or it's that the fact that you filtered everything out from this filter, you filtered everything from this water, and it has no chlorine, so it doesn't kill bacteria and the mold. I don't know, or maybe the mold collects in there with time, but really this is not a good idea to really filter this filter. It's not a good idea to use this filter to filter water. It's just a hassle. It's kind of expensive, if you ask me. It's better to just maybe buy water in the plastic jars or like a gallon jars. And then again, you are going to be drinking some plastic. So I'm not sure, but this is really not really a way of filtering the water. It's just a lot of hassle. The filters go bad really quickly. The water smells like mold. I'm not sure. I have a suspicion that maybe these filters collect some kind of mold when they're sitting dried up inside like the charcoal. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'm not gonna ever buy these filters again. So I I'm just gonna buy like gallons of water, or just use Brita filter that goes directly on your faucet. And they do have this company, like they sell filters that go inside your piping, your plumbing system and piping system, and you could just, you know, filter it underneath your sink, so it gets filtered through the pipes, and then it comes down from the faucet, and it's kind of expensive. It was like in hundreds of dollars, I remember. But I'm not sure if this is gonna create also that foul smell, like the mold, when you put it inside your plumbing pipes. Then I really don't want this. I'm not sure if this is the charcoal that they're using. The black substance is the charcoal. I'm not sure if it's because of that, or because it sits in a warehouse for so long, or because it collects mold from the water when it's coming out the faucet. I really don't know. I actually been filtering this water with 2 filters. I have a Brita filter on my faucet in the kitchen, and I also, after I filtered with Brita filter, I would filter with this filter. So I was doing double filtration, thinking that it's gonna make the water cleaner, but it still had that mold, the smell from the mold. So I don't recommend buying this filter unless you want to keep drinking water that smells like mold. Yeah, it's not really pleasant, and this company doesn't really help with anything. I sent them an email a week ago. They never responded, so it seems like they don't want to really do anything to help the people. Oh, they might know this issue, so I don't know. I'm not sure, but definitely it's not worth the price. I'm not really sure what the solution is, but in this country the water is polluted. You know, the tap water is polluted. These filters make it smell like mold. I'm not really sure. In the plastic bottles, you're drinking the plastic, so that's also bad for you. So I think either way you go, we're kind of all screwed. You know, no matter what you do, you're not gonna really get clean water these days, which is a shame. But thank you again for watching my video. I hope this helps. Have a good day.